Welcome to the January 7th, 2026 Pinellas County Board of Adjustment and Appeals hearing. We've received this case in advance, we've studied it, and in some cases visited the site. Members, if you did visit the site, please disclose that during the discussion. Please understand we do not bring these cases. We are citizens tasked with weighing the evidence submitted in order to make the most informed decision possible. We have no personal interest or stake in these cases except for the overall good of the community. Staff has made a recommendation, and that recommendation is input only and may not necessarily be the opinion of this board. If you're planning to speak for or against any application, you must be sworn in prior to testifying. If you've not been sworn in, please do so now with the clerk at the front of the table. This is how we'll proceed. When your case is called, the applicant should come to this podium, give us your name and address. The applicant will then present their case, including comments from any supporters. I don't think we have people in the audience. I can't see them. Comments by supporters should be new information, not just an expression of support. Opponents may then given the opportunity to state their opposition. If there's numerous opponents, it's preferable for them to select one or two spokespersons. Any subsequent objectors should add new information, not just rehash prior stated objections. Opponents may also display the volume of objection by a show of hands. The applicant may then return to the podium solely to rebut the comments of the opponents and may not bring any new information at that time. We will then close the public hearing. The board will discuss the case, make a motion, and vote. Now I ask Mr. McAteer to further enhance our proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The matters heard by the Board of Adjustment and Appeals are quasi-judicial in nature. Please note that only competent, substantial, fact-based testimony or evidence may be considered by the board in deciding the matters before it. Pure speculation or opinion, not based on competent facts, cannot be legally considered by the board. Lay testimony with fact-based support, including but not limited to meeting minutes, surveys, engineering reports, etc., may be considered competent and substantial evidence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Michael, you want to call the first case?
Yes, our first case, VAR-25-17. This is a variance request to allow for the replacement of an existing legally non-conforming freestanding sign, which is 81 square feet, with a new 128 square foot freestanding sign where the maximum allowable sign area in the general office zone is 50 square feet for the property located at 5800 49th Street North in Lealman. Staff recommends conditional approval. So the subject property contains a medical office campus constructed in 1977. Also, the signage for that site was from the 70s as well. It's located at the intersection of 49th Street North and 58th Avenue North in Lealman. The adjacent HCA Florida Northside Hospital, which is directly to the west and the north of the subject property, the sign is for the hospital. So due to the large campus and expansive layout with multiple medical buildings that they want to have, continue to use this sign that's located on the corner, which is more visible intersection there for the hospital. So it's important to note that this property is not part of the hospital. It's a separate property. We do have they have easements allowable, and the owner of that property has given their okay to allow this sign to remain there. So the HCA Florida Hospital intends to replace the current sign with a larger one to improve wayfinding for patients and the community. The existing freestanding sign is illegal non-conforming as it exceeds the sign area limits established by the current code. However, the sign was lawfully permitted and installed in accordance with the regulations in effect at the time. The proposed new sign will be illuminated, double-sided, 16 feet tall, and have an area approximately 128 square feet. There is no electronic messaging proposed with this sign. All other code requirements, such as height and setbacks, are satisfied in this proposal. The increase in sign area does require, that's why they're here for variance. We're requesting that applicant must obtain all required permits and applicable fees. Again, staff recommends conditional approval of the sign.
Thank you. In the spirit of disclosure, I would disclose that I am currently a board member of another hospital system, and I am not recusing myself from this case because I do not have a conflict under Florida law, but I thought it would be appropriate to at least disclose that fact.
And Mr. Baumstein, just to clarify, there's no relationship between the board that you serve on, or the entity that you serve, and the entity that is the applicant today?
That's correct.
Okay, just want to clarify that for the record.
Yeah. And the entity I'm involved in is a not-for-profit. I don't have any interest in it financially or otherwise, so.
Yeah. As long as the
It's
two
just-
entities, even if it's a not, as long as the two entities are unrelated, that's the most important thing.
Thank you. Would the applicant please come forward?
Good morning.
Your name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Jennifer Ronneberger. My company is Go Permit. My address is 9061 Woodlark Terrace, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33472.
Okay. Sorry about the lighting.
That's okay. That's okay.
Go ahead and give us your arguments.
Sure. Exactly what was just stated, really. We're here looking for just to increase the size of our sign to replace the one that is currently there with something that's new. We're looking for wayfinding. In a time of need, honestly, like that is the most important thing for somebody to be able to see where that it is that they're going. There is also another sign that is just, I believe it's to the west of it, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry, the north of it, excuse me, that was replaced, that is on hospital property, that is going to be the same size, so we're looking for consistency. So again, just, it's really wayfinding just to replace what's there. And again, as you had stated, we do have approval from Duke Energy. We have approval from everybody that's required in order to have our sign remain where it's at.
Is this sign is secondary, the other sign is the primary
They're going,
sign?
they're going to
sign?
be the same size. Is that what you're asking? I'm sorry.
No, but the other sign is at the main hospital entrance. This one is by the medical office building. So it's if one were primary and one were secondary, this would be the secondary sign. I guess that's where I'm.
I don't know if
question I'm asking.
I don't know if I would say that, because right where that sign is, if you go down that street, that is the hospital. I would almost consider this one the primary.
Okay. So,
For the direction of traffic,
yeah.
on this side of the road as you're traveling southbound, this would be the first sign you would see.
Correct.
Okay. So, Michael, help me out here. And board, bear with me, because I survived the sign wars of the early part of this century when Pinellas County had a sweeping and vast sign code redo sometime in the 90s, and everybody had 15 years. We did a 15-year amortization to get rid of your non-conforming signs to meet the new sign code. And sometime around 2005, 6, 7, somewhere there, the 15-year thing ran out, and everybody and their brother was here asking for variances because they wanted to keep the sign they didn't, that they had for the last 15 years, and we heard sign cases, endlessly. But the end result was that Pinellas County really cleaned up this huge sign, almost unlimited sign regulations that they had, and signage in the county is smaller today. So this sign, under that sweeping redo, should have been 50 square feet, but it never got picked up, and it was at 81 square feet, and it's been living there at 81 square feet ever since.
That's correct.
Okay. So the existing sign is in violation because it's 60 or so % bigger than.
Yeah, of today's code. So,
Today's code.
being non-conforming, their option, if they're just replacing the sign face and all that, they can do like for like. We have that ability with a non-conforming sign, but they're looking for that increase, which then does trigger reason why we're here.
Yeah.
May I say something? Also, too, this zoning district that it's in limits it to 50 square feet. The hospital district that the other sign is on, it is conforming. So it's
Yeah.
just this small piece of property that has that requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other sign that's located on the hospital property was able to go straight to permitting because it has a larger, the institutional zoning that the hospital's on has a larger sign allowance than the general office.
Okay. So the two signs sit in two different zoning districts, one being the hospital zoning, institutional zoning, and the other being medical office, or office building zoning, office zoning. And the office zoning sign, which is the one that they want to replace, has the more restrictive size requirements. I guess so let me ask you this. You need to go, you're currently at 81, you want to go to 128. That's, it's a lot more footage. That's 58% more size-wise. What are you gaining? Because it looks to me from the sketch from Atlas Sign that the information on the sign is pretty much the same. And, I just, looking at this, I don't see a crying need to have the larger sign. You're getting the same information across.
Well, that's exactly what the issue here is. So if you look at the sign code, the way that it's written, it really states that the sign itself, if you were to maximize the height, which is 20 feet allowable, and if you would calculate the square footage that way, the sign would only be able to be 2.5 feet wide, which makes it not really unlegible, honestly. So, and also, the code also states that you have to calculate the entire sign face, not just the copy area. So we're really just asking for our larger size sign to meet within the sign height requirement. And we can't max out the height that we're allowed at 20 square feet, because then the sign would only be 2.5 feet wide.
Okay, let me try this again. So the new sign is designed as 16 feet tall.
Yes,
The existing sign, I think I learned, was 12.5 feet tall.
correct,
So you're looking at 3.5 more feet in height.
yes.
And that 3.5 feet presents itself at the bottom of the sign with blank space, basically. So while all the information on the sign is the same, what you've got, you haven't added any more information. You haven't really enhanced, in my opinion, the wayfinding abilities. It's really not a wayfinding sign because everything's the same arrow. There's one arrow, there's two arrows, but everything's pointing either left or either right. So it's not really, so to speak, wayfinding, which would happen internal to the campus. I'm having trouble justifying a crying need for a sign that is egregiously larger than the code when the sign itself is not performing any better function than the existing sign. You could put that new design face on the existing sign, you just wouldn't have all the blank space at the bottom of the copy.
But code allows us to go up to 20 feet tall, and we're not looking to even go that high. So, and the reason why we're asking for it is really strictly for visibility and consistency. And again, if we were in the zoning district that the hospital is on, this is a hospital sign. If we were in the zoning district the hospital would be on, we wouldn't even be here. We would have went straight through to permitting like we did with the other sign. So that's what we're looking for. We're just asking for consistency, and we're looking for the increase in height.
But you're not in the zoning district. I mean, you're on property that
We're-
you don't own that property.
I know,
This,
but
this is a secondary sign on property that is not owned by the hospital. It's owned by the medical office building.
right,
people.
with the ability for the hospital, because the hospital property is
Yeah.
behind it.
Yeah.
I'll also make a point of my own experience. Going to this hospital before in the past, I was going down the area, I did notice that it wasn't immediately clear where the hospital was, because it's the first time I'd ever gone there. And then so I actually had to make a U-turn because I passed it. But my other thought about this is that the signage is, because HCA is becoming very popular in the area, the signage becoming consistency, it does help, like your brain kind of goes to oh, I've seen this before. I know where I know what I'm looking for. I've seen, maybe it's not here, maybe it might be somewhere else, but it's very, it's more of a consistency and for finding it. That's just my own personal experience on that. And then, with that, I guess it would put the emergency much higher. That blank space at the top and the bottom pushes the emergency up higher, which is, I think for for all intensive purposes, like, that's the most important part about this, is identifying this is a hospital and this is an emergency.
And it makes it it's more of a current sign or a modern sign, or is it
Yes.
lighted, or is it?
It is.
It will be, and the one now is not, I don't
Correct.
believe, right?
Yes. Also, one thing, we're not a restaurant or a shopping center. We're a medical facility. We are a hospital, and people aren't out there really looking for the sign. Like, they are in an absolute panic trying to get to where they have to get to. So that's even why it's more important than just your regular standard signage that you would see out there. If it was a restaurant or something, or shopping center, that's different. That's not who we are.
Any other comments from the board? Is there anybody else, I can't see, is there anybody else here that needs to speak to this case?
Anybody else in opposition, not dressed in black?
Really?
I don't
Out
see
of
any,
all days, right?
I
Should've
I don't
worn-
see any other speakers for or opposed to this case. Is there pleasure of the board, and anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve based on the fact and findings of the staff response and in granting the conditional approval of the signage.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for conditional approval in accordance with the findings of fact as outlined in the staff report. Are there any other comments? All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I oppose. Okay, it passes 5-1.
Thank you
You
very
have your
much.
variance.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm
Have a
sorry.
wonderful day. Thank you. Oh,
I'm sorry, who was the second? Thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you very much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you.
We have minutes from the something meeting, December meeting.
Yes.
Anybody care to
I'll move to
approve?
Second.
What's that?
I seconded it, or
So we have a
or
motion-
made the motion, either one.
We have a motion, we have a second to approve the minutes of the December 3rd meeting. All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes, the minutes are approved. Any other business before this meeting? See you in February, guys.